All right, we are recording. So happy Monday night. Thank you guys so much for coming on as usual. And a couple things really quickly right off the bat. Joe Cardone is or was formerly the West Coast region's corporate sales manager for the Diamond through 3 stars. And so he worked pretty closely with like Brian and Emily and Lindsay and Kara in kind of a mastermind. But now he's in the middle of the country, so now he's in like Adele, Holly, Christy, Nick's region.
You have people up there talking on panels and doing other things, and there's some of you that sort of think, that's not, I could do that, that's not me. And whatever brought you here, whatever has you here right now, it's great, but there's a part of you that feels like you're just kind of a number. And look at you and say, because of you, I am better. Because of what you did, my family's different. You matter. Now, I'm going to tell you a story real quick. This is my daughter, Caitlin. Okay? My two oldest children have special needs. And my oldest son, Caleb, because of the nature of the disability, my oldest son, Caleb, 17, probably has the cognitive abilities of about a 5-year-old. He is honestly a wonderful kid, but he's just kind of happy to be there. He's pretty ignorant of the fact that he's different. As long as he can watch Power Rangers and he can eat tacos and other things, he's happy. My daughter, Caitlin, on the other hand, is affected differently. She's aware that she's different. She has all the same teeny bopper. She's 14, 15 years old now. She you say One Direction to her and she gets embarrassed. You say, you talk to her about, I don't know, the pop music, the latest thing. She knows who sings it. She's very into that, but she can't quite keep up with kids her age. She doesn't understand sarcasm. She doesn't understand that kind of thing. And she's also at an age when kids tend to be a little less patient, just to be honest. I call her my little girl stuck between two worlds because she really doesn't fit in either one of them. And so she spends a lot of time by herself. When we go to our IEP meetings, which for those of you that have special needs kids or wherever, it's a individual education plan to help them move forward, and you meet with all of the teachers and the people that are involved in supporting your child. And they always say great things about Caitlin, things that they do. And then when it always comes up towards the end and we just kind of talk about things in general, always the topic comes up, we're concerned about her socially. Because she eats lunch by herself. And when the kids go out to play recess, she's typically by herself, just sitting, waiting for recess to get over so she can go back in the classroom. And as a parent, that breaks my heart. Because she's a wonderful girl. And I want people to see in her the things that I know are there. 2 years ago, we were driving, I came home from work, and typically, because Caitlin just comes home from school and will just be at the house, okay? Whenever I have to run an errand or something after work, I usually will go home and grab her, and we'll go get her a root beer, or we'll go do something fun on my way to do an errand. It's a way for me to kind of help her get out of the house. About 2 years ago, went and picked her up, went home. We had to go to the orange store, which is what we call Home Depot in my house. I don't know why or God we call it the orange store, but that's what we call it. I came in, I said, I gotta go to the orange store, Caitlin. And she was like, oh, I don't know, Dad. I said, I'll get you a root beer. She's like, okay, I'll go. And so we got in the car, and we were driving down the hill from our house. And she kind of kept looking at me. And I could kind of see my peripheral vision that she was kind of glancing up at me. And then out of the blue, she just kind of looked at me. She goes, Daddy, she goes, I have fragile X. And that means I have a special brain, and I'm not like other kids. And I was like, oh, Nikes. Pulled the car over and I just hugged her. And I was trying to not cry, but telling her how much I loved her and how she was made, just how God made her to be, and she was wonderful. And I never felt so inadequate as a parent than I did in that moment. And I tell you that because I want to tell you another experience that happened that following summer. There was a knock on our door, and there was a teenage girl from our neighborhood that was there. And she asked, as I answered, she goes, can I talk to you? Which is weird, because usually teenage girls don't come to my house asking to talk to me. And so I said, sure, come on in. And I grabbed my wife, and she said, hey, and her name is Sarah. She said, hey, I have a question for you. She goes, do you think if I invited Caitlin to run on the cross-country team, do you think she would come? And Katie and I looked at each other and we're like, I don't know. And she goes, well, she was just made captain on the cross-country team, and she was aware of kind of Caitlin. She goes, if she'll come, I'll take care of her. If you'll invite her, and she'll come, I'll take care of her. I'll pick her up, I'll do all that stuff. And so Sarah, we said, okay, we'll talk to her. And she left, and my wife and I remember we looked at each other and we're just like, okay, how are we gonna make this happen? Like, this could be something she could actually do, to be with kids her age in an environment where they're not telling jokes and stuff that she has to get there just running and breathing. I mean, she could run and breathe. Okay? And so we're like, oh, we're just gonna ask her. So I went in there and we just said, hey, Caitlin, Sarah was just here. You know what she said? No. She wants to know if you'll go run cross country with her on the high school team. I'm not in high school. Well, technically you're in 9th grade, so you kind of are. Okay, well, what's cross country? So we told her, and she was like, it's just running. It's just running. I don't want to do that, Daddy. I don't want to do that. I don't want to do that. No, no, no. And that's my daughter. She doesn't like to try new things. She likes to, it's just her world has to be kind of tight. But there is one thing that I know my daughter likes more than anything else. And that's shopping. All she wants for any gift is gift cards, because she wants to just go shopping. And so I had this little moment of clarity. I thought, you know what? I said, Caitlin, if you did run this cross-country team, we would have to go to the Nike store and buy you 2 outfits. 2 outfits, Daddy? I was like, 2 pair of shoes, 2 shorts, socks, I mean, the whole thing. We'd have to get all of that for you. 2 shoes? Yeah, 2 shoes. Okay, Dad, I'll do it. So we went to the Nike store, dropped like $250. I was like, oh, but I was like, hey, good investment, right? And we told Sarah, and she said, okay, I got her. And last year, every morning in June, July, and August at 6:30, Sarah would come by our house and pick up my daughter. She would take her to cross country. And for the first month, Caitlin stayed right with her. Okay, you with me, this and that. By the second month, as they started to get a little bit more intense in the training, Caitlin was like, okay, this is your buddy. And she paired her up with someone that kind of ran about the same speed as my daughter. And she said, you just stay with her. She's going to take care of you. And my daughter woke up every single morning at 6:30, put on her clothes, okay, and went and ran cross country. This is Sarah, by the way. Okay. And I remember I remember watching the change in my daughter from this quiet, just sit on the couch, just to being, she would come home, she was happy, you could see it in her face, she would talk about so-and-so across country, she was belonging, she was so excited when they got to order uniforms, and we got her everything we could, bag, shirt, coat, pants, socks, monogrammed underwear, I didn't care, I was like, you're on the team, right? And she felt like she belonged for the first time in her life, which for us was incredible to watch this change happen in our daughter. Well, towards the end of the summer, the beginning of the fall, they started now the meets, the cross-country meets. And I remember Sarah came to us and she said, hey, we want Caitlin to run in this meet, but I think she doesn't want to. And so we went and we talked to Caitlin. Hey, Caitlin, we want you to this, do you know what a meet is? No. I said, well, it's when the other schools come and you kind of run a course, okay? And you see who wins. And I said, but it's not about winning, it's about having fun and doing all this stuff. And she's like, I don't know, no, Daddy, no, because my Kyla doesn't like to do new things. And so what do? I bribe her with clothes. We're gonna have to go get you some new shoes, Caitlin. Okay, Daddy. It's shameless, I'll do it, I don't care. And so that first meet, I remember we were going, and as we were driving to the meet, she was insistent that we not stay at the meet, because she's still a teenager, right? She doesn't want her mom and dad there. No, Daddy, no, Mommy, Dad, no, you can't come. No, Mom, Dad, no, Mom, no. I'm like, okay, fine, don't get all worked up. So we dropped her off, waved goodbye, drove around the block, parked, and got and went to the stands. And I remember they were all, the course was in the football field, kind of like there's the stands on both sides. All the runners, the starting line was in the middle of the football field, and they ran out, around, out of fence, and then they kind of ran on the far side of the field. They went around a loop that you kind of lost them through a neighborhood where you couldn't really see where they went from the stands. And then they came back, and they ran a serpentine pattern in the same field right here. They ran back around, and then they run back through the football stadium. That was one 1-mile loop. Okay. So we're standing in the stands here, trying to not let my daughter see me, but I can see her out in the middle of this football field because she's wearing this green hat. And she loves that green hat. We need to find it and burn it because it's so dirty right now. Okay, she loves that green hat. And I can see her out there, and I can see her standing right next to Sarah. She's nervous, but she's standing next to Sarah. And Sarah's kind of putting her arm around her, and she's talking and everything, and then as the time gets up, they say runners line up. She walks back, and she puts her with her buddy that she's supposed to run with. She waves goodbye, and Sarah goes to the front, because Sarah was a lot better runner than, faster runner than my daughter. And the gun goes off, and they all start running. And it doesn't take more than probably 200 yards before my daughter and her friend are last place or really far back. I mean, I couldn't tell if they were last place or almost last place. I didn't know if someone was just running for fun or what they were. But I'm watching my daughter and my poor kids. I gotta tell you, my two other younger kids that are with me that don't have disabilities. Sometimes it's hard to have me as their father because I'm like constant leadership mode. Did you see that? Do you see what she's doing right now? There's obstacles in life that come your way. And it's like, Judith, Dad, I love you. But I can't help myself because I'm watching my daughter run and I'm just, emotions are coming out, all this thing, she's doing this, and I'm just like, this is a huge thing for her. And I watch her on lap 1, and you can't really see because it's bright in here, but she's running right there with her buddy. And the first lap, she was just right on the hip. And I remember she'd run, and she kind of looked to her side, and she's running, and she's looking to her side like, am I doing the right thing? And she was just going. And I was so proud of her. And when they ran the first step by the stands, I didn't say anything. I wanted to scream her name and let her know I was there, right? And just be cheering for her, but I was just quiet. They go through the importance of being a Sarah in life. Be Sarah. Be Sarah, you guys. The power of one person to change one person's life. Be Sarah. All the people that are around around you right now, the people that you're hesitating to talk to, the people you're afraid they're going to judge you or misunderstand you, all that stuff, be Sarah. Be the person that reaches out when no one else is. Be the person that has the courage to ask them to do something maybe they're uncomfortable doing because you know it will help them. Be Sarah. And at the end of the day, don't get caught up on the 5-star and the 10-star and the this and the that. Use that as milestones that you measure because you're a Sarah. I promise you, the more that you are a Sarah, the other things will line up behind themselves. People will resonate. Don't put one thing in front of the other. Be Sarah. Think about the people. Think about what comes out of this time today, Super Saturday. How are you going to reach more people? Be Sarah. Don't overcomplicate it. She didn't overanalyze it. She didn't try to create carpool systems to get my daughter. She just came over and got my daughter every single morning. Be Sarah. Do it. You can do it, and you will make a difference. And I don't know if you'll ever get to be a superstar 15 diamond, elite coach, 3-time premier, walk across the stage and summit 150 times. I don't know. I don't. But I will tell you this right now. With Team Beachbody as a coach, you have the chance to be a Sarah every single day. And that's freaking awesome. Okay? Woo! It's there for you. And in your life, at the end of this thing, those moments when you are a Sarah will matter a lot more to you than the moments when you were recognized for a rank. And the funny thing is, like I just said, the more you focus on being a Sarah, the rank and this other stuff tends to take care of itself. So be Sarah, you guys, all right? Have a good workout. Thanks, guys.
All right, I'm so sorry about the buffering. I think it's because I was trying to play a video from a live stream that probably, I don't know. Anyway, so I thought that was an awesome example of what a corporate Super Saturday looks like. There's also a PowerPoint that gets emailed to the host. So like when Nick just registered his, they wait until 2 or 3 days before and they email you a corporate PowerPoint, kind of like a movie that you play. And so you can either play it on your laptop or you can project it on a wall, or you know, you go to a facility where it's being done for you. But that's kind of a little bit of a taste of a Super Saturday. Jen Elliott, wave your hand. She videoed on her GoPro, well, lots of stuff now. She's like our team videographer, librarian of great videos. But because she videoed some stuff at Summit for you guys too. But she did a video of Vio Lofato at Portland's last Super Saturday that was like, I mean, some of the stuff that was that came out of that presentation, like, totally changed the trajectory of how I run my business today. And that was just what, 2 quarters ago? Last quarter? I think that was just last quarter. So they're super important. And then just kind of in closing, I thought we could unmute, and those of you that were there, Julie typed up a whole awesome kind of chronology of things that she learned and took notes on it at our Super Saturday. So I would love for maybe us to just share or ask questions about that as we close. And then I did forget to say something about Joe Carden and our team call next week. I forgot to say that due to his time zone and his family, it's going to be at 6 o'clock Pacific Standard Time. So it's going to be an hour earlier next week. Okay, does anyone want to, anyone want to elaborate anything at all about Super Saturday this last weekend?
I'll talk. I think the biggest thing is it's not necessarily even a nugget. It's just that every time I go, it rejuvenates me and gets me excited. You know, like there's lulls, and you know, when you're in the trenches of in doing the hard stuff that maybe you don't love day in and day out, going to those events, it just reminds me, okay, this is why we do this, and it just fills my cup and really gets me excited again. So, stop. My cat's trying to steal my dinner.
Along with what Jen was saying, it's like a mini summit and a way to get together with your team and just have fun with everybody. And I don't know if you guys saw in the chat box, I did record Jeff's speech. I uploaded it on my YouTube, but it had some copyright things tagged, so I took it down. I'll either try to put it up private or Google Drive it or something if you guys are interested in that. Just let me know and I'll send you a link.
I think if you make it unlisted, well, it was flagged as copyright.
Yeah, there was like 2 spots in it where he used music in his presentation. Like people, tagged it for copyright for that.
Got it.
I don't know if I could.
I'm not going to give you advice on that. Google Drive it. Google Drive it.
Okay.
Google Drive it. Don't risk YouTube jail.
When I asked Jeff to share that with me, he did say there was some copyright stuff.
Nick, how did your Super Sunday go?
It was a lot of fun. We met at like 2 o'clock on Sunday and worked out. We did cardio at 3. It was brutal in the garage. It was super humid, so we're disgusting. Then they send out like a PowerPoint, and I kind of modified it based on our team's needs and put some stuff from Summit in there, some of my notes and some of my pictures and stuff. And then there's a video that kind of covers some more of the stuff that I'm sure you guys saw the video too, I would imagine, at your Super Saturday. But yeah, it was a lot of fun. And we just kind of sat around and brainstormed and talked a little business, and it was a good time. I'll definitely do it again since, everybody I know that does Beachbody is way out on the coast. Thanks, guys.
Bobby's car broke down, so he has legit excuse. That's legit. That's like barfing. That counts.
You could Uber.
Not with my bank account right now, I can't. And it was like an hour and a half away, so that Uber was not happening.
Oh, man.
And I still am carless, so it's been wonderful. I leave to Wisconsin on Saturday. It's been wonderful.
That stinks. Julie, why don't you touch on some of the things that you jotted down?
Unmute. Okay. So I think one of the first big things that Jeff said for me was you don't grow overnight, in a personal sense or in a business sense. And I know in a business sense, we hear it all the time, like it's not get rich quick. You got to be in it for the long haul. We go over and over and over that all the time, but it really drove it home for me when he said, you as a person do not grow overnight. It takes you time. So it makes sense that it takes time for your business to grow too. That was kind of big. The next one that we've been hearing a lot about lately is setting goals and setting measurable goals, which also didn't really mean a whole lot to me, or like not anything that I felt like I could use until he elaborated on it. And like, be big, like dream a little, like go for something that's a little far of a stretch or a little bit out of your comfort zone, or just like don't talk yourself out of having a big goal and hold yourself to it this year. Pick a success partner who's going to keep you accountable for that. Maybe it's yourself, maybe it's somebody that you could view as a competitor who you should really view as a teammate in a different way. That was pretty big. And the last really big takeaway was be a leader. Be a leader in your own business, in your own life, and on your team, regardless of where you are, and make a mark, a positive mark on every single person that you interact with through this business. Those are my big ones.
Well, thank you. That was great. So just remember, because I know many of you are not like within driving distance of a big corporate event. They don't need to be big. Remember, Kelly Amos did one alone in her car. So you can do a Super Saturday. So you don't have to bring coaches too. You can bring your like prospective people that might be interested in the business, because they kind of get to see what we're all about. And oh, the other thing Nick and Andrea did is they did a nice like food display. I don't know if you guys saw that, and ours had like Shakeology balls and Shakeology samples, and so it's just a good opportunity to like showcase workouts, showcase our products to even people that aren't part of our team. So that's all I got. Unless any of you guys have any questions or want to elaborate. We good? Let me end the recording.